2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Hey, I'm Jordyn, and this is Intros. Today on the show, I have the absolutely amazing Jordyn with a Y. Jordyn, welcome to Intros.
Thank you so much for having me.
You look amazing.
You look amazing.
The colours?
Yeah, we love to feel bright. Got to bring the energy.
Well, why don't we start with a little bit about your journey?
Yeah.
Can you talk to me about how did you start with music? Give us a little synopsis.
My dad's a pastor, so I grew up singing in church. That's kind of been like my training ground, I suppose, instead of like music school or anything like that. So we learned to sing a lot. But also just like on the fly, my dad would be like, we're doing this song. I'll be like, Dad, I don't know that song. And he'd be like, too bad. Yeah. So that's kind of where I've been learning. But I have always written just to myself. I think I find it very therapeutic. And then in the last few years, I had been doing some recording for other people's songs, just some vocals. And I had met my friend Nick Manders, our friend Nick Manders. Yes. And he, got me in to record my first song, something that I had written, something that was really close to my heart. And he just was really beautiful and tender at, I suppose, putting it together and fleshing it out into what it became. And then from there, the momentum just kind of picked up and now we're here. And it's amazing because I've always loved music and I've always loved singing and writing songs, but I didn't imagine it as a sustainable career for me. And so it's very healing for little girl Jordyn with a Y.
What has that journey been like for you, entering into this industry, trying to figure it out? Did you feel confident knowing, okay, these are the things that I need to do? Were you kind of walking blind?
It happened very organically. I put out my second single at the beginning of 2022. It's called Brown Melodies.
Great song.
And it just kind of accumulated a lot of attention. A lot of people were listening to it, which was incredible. And from there, people just getting offered gigs, applied for more funding, got to put out more music. So I have really just gone with the wave. I feel like I've entered a really beautiful pocket of time for music, especially for reo Māori music. And I'm also Samoan, but I think music for us now is just a bit more accessible for artists, for writers. So I've just been riding the wave, really.
So cool.
Yeah.
So you've recorded a few songs in te reo, and I know you've been a part of the wider anthems movement, which is something I've been a part of as well. What has that been like for you?
Yeah, I think I've just found it to be so much more generous in my songwriting because reclaiming te reo Māori has been such an important part of my journey. Like a lot of my life decisions now are based around the reclamation of te reo Māori and making sure that that's a big priority. So then songwriting has been incredible for reo Māori. Like the stories that I'm learning, even the language, the worldview, like te ao Māori is so different from the worldview that I've grown up with. So it just adds layers, richness, depth to the songs. It's been very fun. I've loved it.
Amazing. And you have 2 babies.
Yeah.
Not really babies anymore.
Yeah.
That's something that I really want to talk to you about.
Absolutely.
As myself, I don't have little people to juggle.
Yeah.
How do you do that? How do you do everything that you're doing and navigate being a mum?
Yeah, it's a good question. I'm really blessed to have built the whānau that we've got. So my tāne is wonderful, and we decided together that music would be something that I pursue, something that we pursue. And so if I'm out and about, he's holding it down at home. But then also our wider family, my parents, his family, my brothers, like everyone just pitches in so that we can be successful. And we do that for everyone in our whānau. So we're a very collective, like nothing's ever by ourselves. I'm more like an interdependent artist than an independent.
And you need the support network of people.
Yeah, for sure.
Not do it on your own.
Absolutely.
I mean, you can try, but you're going to get very exhausted and burnt out very quickly.
I feel very blessed to have them.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Music is now full-time for me, and I know you're pretty much full-time, which is really exciting. And that journey from doing music and working maybe 2 or 3 jobs to make that happen, what has the workload been like? What are some of the things that you've had to navigate in that space?
It's a lot. It's a lot, and I feel like I'm almost full-time, almost where I'm trying to be. But I think what's been really important is making sure my music gets in front of people. So doing the gigs, like last year was full of gigs. A lot of weekends were filled with gigs. And I knew that. So I think you have to really plan for the rush of work, that you're constantly hunting for spaces to present your music so that you can find your audience. I think too, trying to find lines of work that are similar to music has been really helpful for me. So I can use my voice to sing, but I can also use it to yappa yappa. And so picking up other contracts has been pretty vital for me to making this sustainable, because contract work is different from 9 to 5. So getting out of that rhythm of work and finding a new rhythm that both pays the bills and keeps us free enough to create has been really vital. And I think that's good for people with creative minds, that there are always ways that we can make this work for us. Like if you have a skill in something, really leaning into that skill and finding where the sources of income can be. So I use my voice a lot. The other piece of advice is that I'm all about collaborations, like meeting people, supporting other artists, supporting other producers, like making good friends and building good relationships in this industry, because it's so small. Like I just, in my brain before I entered the music industry, thought that it was this big machine. But really it's like, oh, so-and-so that works in this office. And it's really important to maintain good relationships with people, to be cheering each other on. Because I think what's good for New Zealand music is just good for everyone.
Yes.
What's good for reo Māori music is good for te reo Māori. So just to be supporting each other in that way, I think ends up coming back around anyway. Just putting good energy out.
I am an independent artist. Currently, you are an independent artist as well. How have you found being independent and also female within the New Zealand music industry?
Yeah, big question. I also feel very, very privileged, because my experience in the music industry has honestly been incredible.
Amazing.
And I've only been in it for this is my 3rd year. So we're still newbie, but I said before, I feel like this pocket of time for reo Māori music and for Māori artists in particular has meant that I've come in on this particular wave, driven by a lot of people like Whaia Hinewehi Mohi, the
Love
Dane.
her.
We love her. And all of the mahi that she's put in to make sure that these spaces are safe has meant that my experience has been one of support. Like funding has been accessible, gigs and being put in connection with other people. Writing, I've been put in connection with mātanga reo Māori experts to help make sure that the writing is good. So I have felt really well supported, which I think is a sign of maybe the tide's turning, because I know that's not everyone's experience. And I know that there have been people who have fought for this to come with ease. So I'm really grateful, and I know that the tides are still turning. I also feel a bit naive, so who knows? We might hit some road bumps, but at the moment it's been really beautiful, and I feel very grateful.
And I love that your journey, you know, you can see the things that you're learning and the tool belt that you're kind of gathering along the way. You know, you've got these beautiful people and communities, and I think it is really easy to hear all of the negative stories and feel like, you know, for a long time I was like, my experience hasn't been that either.
Yeah.
You know, you obviously hear stories and you're like, oh, my empathy and my heart and I just don't even know how people have had to navigate those conversations in those spaces. And,
Absolutely.
But I really am hopeful.
Yeah.
Hopeful for our industry, hopeful for, you know, what is to come, and excited to be a part of this point in time.
Absolutely.
And be a part of that. And I think there's something so magical and exciting and special about that.
Yeah. And I think too it means that people like me have maybe a bigger capacity to dream. Because I think when you're fighting, your head's kind of to the ground, really pushing forward, focusing. And it's such important work. It means that when people like me come in, super new, but these pathways have been paved and made out for me, means that I have a different vision, maybe. Like other artists, Māori artists especially that I've spoken to, just have audacious dreams for our rangatahi, making sure that our young people know that doing music can be a sustainable career, right? So when you're in high school and leaving high school, you're not looked at as silly to want to pursue something like music in Aotearoa, that there are sustainable pathways for our stories to keep being told, for the language to keep being carried. So I'm really grateful, and it's not lost on me that the privilege that I experience has come with immense struggle and pain. And I think it's for this.
One of my favourite conversations that I get to have in the intro seats is all about songwriting and process. How do you write your songs?
I love lyrics. Like, I love words. So I suppose sometimes I start from there. Sometimes I just like jot things down. My notes are so full of just random little statements. I don't know. Sometimes melodies just come. Sometimes they're better in collaboration. But I find that once I start writing, the rest kind of comes quite naturally.
The song that you're going to perform today is one that I really, really love.
Yeah.
And this was the first song that I heard you play. So I'm really excited to share this with our intros audience. Brown Melodies.
Yes.
What is this song about?
So Brown Melodies, it's my second single that I ever released. And I had written it one afternoon after I was in class. So I did a full immersion year-long Te Reo Māori course.
Amazing.
And we were learning about some of our atua Māori, some of our divinities in Te Ao Māori, Hineruhi and Tānerore. And so Hineruhi is described as the dew, the morning dew, and that Tānerore is like the twinkles, the sparkles, or sometimes that mirage that you sometimes see on a hot day looking down a long road. And I just loved that. I loved the idea that there were these atua, these divinities who had always known me. And as I was reclaiming and I was learning, they had always had us. They'd always known me. And so I found that piecing these words together was really fun.
Before we wrap this conversation up, I love getting my guests to do an artist shout out to someone that they are listening to or really loving.
I am loving this artist called Spidertown Baby. She's just released a new single called Pixel Pixie, and it's very, very cool R&B vibes.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Pixel Pixie.
Yeah, Spidertown Baby.
We'll have to check her out for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
It has been an absolute privilege to have you. Thank you for sharing pieces of your story. If this is what you've done within 3 years, I'm really excited to see and hear what happens for you moving forward.
Incredible. Thank you so much for having me.
And this is the end. Cool. Don't leave me hanging.
1, 2, 3, 4. Golden lights are dancing on my skin, making love to melanin. In the early hours when the dew is kissing doors, breaking, and it's our morning song. Melodies from deities singing along, singing along, our morning song. Melodies from deities, listen. Rivers are bathing me, springs hydrating me, oceans are flavoring, so in my hair to my feet. And I'm not scared of the dark. I got the cross of the southern sky guiding my deepest nights, multitudes holding my spine. We're gonna be fine. Melodies from deities singing along, singing along, our morning song. Melodies from deities singing along, singing along, our morning song. Melodies from, sing it with me now, B-R-O-W-N, B-R-O-W-N, B-R-O-W-N. Melodies from deities singing, B-R-O-W-N, B-R-O-W-N, B-R-O-W-N. Melodies from deities singing along, singing along, our morning song. Hey, melodies from deities singing along, singing along, our morning song. Melodies from deities sing.